and welcome to my channel. Today I've got a holiday themed look for you, like holiday, party, birthday, whatever. You know, fancy occasions where you do want to look glam, but you don't want to spend 12.5 years on your makeup first. This is basically what I do in an occasion like that, like the sort of makeup I do. So yeah, I really don't have a lot to say about this look beforehand. Like, it's quite quick and easy. It's full glam and it's just, I feel, perfect for the holiday season. So let's hurry up and get started. Okay, I'm just starting with my eyebrows, and also, by the way, I'm wearing a corset. I went through all the trouble to put it on because I think it looks cool, and it turns out to not actually even be visible on camera, which I could have known because the bottom of my clothes never is visible on camera anyway. So yeah, other than that, little waste of time. For my eyebrows, I'm just making them. I'm not going for the Insta brow, like the whole. Is it even really a thing? Because I don't really see people doing that anymore. Well, anyway, you know what I mean. Like, I'm not going to make it look as if they're painted on, but I do want them to be visibly there and, you know, make a bit of an impression, really. And as usual, I'm just going to make the bottom side of my eyebrows a little bit more neat with the eye primer, and then also in the process prime my eyelid. Okay, we're going to start on the eye look now. I'm actually going to use the Heaps of Sweets palette, which I also, by xoBeauty, which I also used last Thursday, I think, for a review. But then I did more of a fairy-esque look with it, and now I want to do a more glam look with it. As always, by the way, everything I've used is below the video in the video description, but you don't need to use the exact same things that I did. Basically, here's just a view of what's inside this palette. We're mostly going to go for the natural shades today. So yeah, what I always recommend when doing a look for any kind of holiday, really, for any kind of special occasion, go for a palette that you know and you like. Obviously, don't go for a palette that you hate. But like, go for something that you have faith in, that you know how to work with, really, so you don't, you know, get this effect of, oh, this actually looks like crap because I didn't know that it wouldn't blend or anything like that. You know, just use something that you know is going to work, that just reduces a lot of, like, annoyance. Yeah, I'm just going to start safely with a transition shade. For me, that is Macaron, which is sort of a warmish pale taupe shade. Now I'm just tossing this all the way in the crease and the outer corner with a big fluffy brush. And I'm actually doing this not only for the transition. I also like to really set the, especially for a look that I want to last the entire day or the entire evening at least. I just want something that's going to stay, obviously. So I always like to use enough in the crease, enough eyeshadow in the crease that it really sets the primer so that I know it's going to go basically nowhere, that it's just going to stay in shape all day. You could of course set the eye primer with a translucent powder to get the same effect. However, I personally prefer not to do that for the simple reason that I prefer my eye primer to stay as sticky as possible. Just because the eyeshadows just come out way more pigmented, so I just have to add less eyeshadow. Just goes a little bit quicker and just, yeah. It's just what I prefer, but of course, like, if you do prefer to set your eyeshadow base first, then that's fine too. Just do whatever you're comfortable with. Now I'm just using a caramel shade in the outer corner and the deepest part of the crease, and I'm basically pulling it to like 2/3, I guess, of the crease. Like, not all the way to the inner corner, and I'm using a more dense brush. Slightly smaller as well than the brush that I used last, like the big fluffy blender. Because I do want this to be more opaque, more intense. But I still do want to be able to blend it out nicely and have it nice and smoky. So yeah, I'm not going for a very small brush yet. By the way, the reason I never actually mention what brushes I use is very simply because to me most things are quite interchangeable. In the sense of, like, this brush for example is BH Cosmetics, and it works fine because it is a short, dense, fluffy blending brush. It's a little bit less soft than, for example, xoBeauty brushes, which are my favorites. But still it works and it's cheap, so, you know, like, you don't need to have a certain brand of brushes in order to do eye looks. Like, just use whatever you want. And, you know, like I said, the reason I never mention what brushes I use really is because I prefer to just show you the shape, and, you know, whatever brush you have that has this shape and it works for you is just perfectly fine. For brow bone highlight I'm going to use Sugar, which is a very sparkly whitish glitter. And again, without any extra product on big fluffy blender, I'm just going to blend that together with the grease. Now I'm just using a angled brush and a dark brown eyeshadow to carefully create a wing shape on the lid, and then I'm just going to blend it inwards. So using a more fluffy brush to blend this further. But yeah, this is just what I prefer to do on like special occasions. You know, I prefer to either do very little eyeshadow and do a perfect wing and put all my focus into that. Or I go for a full eyeshadow look and then I actually, you know, create a smoky wing so there's less chance of disaster. Like I either spend time on one thing or on the other thing, but not on both. Because I just don't want to spend 12 hours on makeup on a special occasion. And yeah, like a smoky wing just is a lot more forgiving, so it's just a lot quicker and easier. Then for the eyelid we're actually going to go for sort of a very soft halo eye slash inner cut crease effect. Made sense, didn't it? Anyway, I'm just going to use a glitter primer, and yes, the top of mine broke off. So now I can't close it anymore. If that happens to you, toss it, because it's not very hygienic, but I'm a cheapskate, so I'm still going to use it. But anyway, I'm just going to put that on the inner corner of my eye. And sort of in a, well, a cut crease shape, but I'm just going to do that on the inner corner. And then fade it out to the back. It's because that way, like, it's less of a risk than a full-on cut crease. Again, when I'm doing any kind of holiday makeup for reels, I just try to keep it risk-free. Or at least low on risk. Like, I do want it to look fancy, of course, but I don't want to risk it being a huge disaster if I'm not careful enough. But yeah, then I'm just going to use a very shimmery taupe to fill that in. And I'm leaving the inner part of the eyelid bare because I want to do something different on there. So yeah, just pulling it up to there. Wiping off the brush, then I'm going to go into a yellow gold shade and put that in the center of the lid. And obviously blend it together with the two parts on the side. And then in the inner corner I'm going to use the very pale shimmer shade that I already used underneath the eyebrow as well, just because I want it to be a little bit lighter there. And just blend it together too, so we have this really nice sort of mix and match of shimmers. Okay, as you can tell from the difference between my eyes, I just decided to add a little bit of black on the outer corner. There's no black in this palette, so I grabbed a mono eyeshadow. Doesn't matter what eyeshadow you use, really. Just use something that blends well. Because I'm just basically doing the same thing I did with the dark brown before. I'm making a wing, and then I'm just going in with the soft side of the brush, this time without any added product. And blending it in with the rest of the eye look. And yeah, just remember when doing something like this, it's better with black eyeshadow to add more in steps than to add a lot at once, because, well, as with most things, it's easier to add more later on than to take something away. So if you add too much, then it's going to be pretty difficult to fix. So be careful with it. Now I am adding a little bit of eyeliner, gel liner, just to the top of my lid. And not in any kind of wing, but the reason for that is that I'm going to use falsies with quite a dark lash band, so I need something to hide that lash band. But yeah, if you're not comfortable with falsies, then don't force yourself to wear them the entire night, because you're going to be uncomfortable then. It's okay to just add mascara, and if you're just going to add mascara, then really it's just entirely up to you whether or not you even want to add a liner. I do think it drags more attention to the eyes, so I would recommend it. But if you're really not comfortable applying one, then just, don't. Now, I'm quite comfortable with wearing eyelashes, like false eyelashes, so I'm going to use a Faux Mink pair that's quite big, but still, like when you have it on, it's still quite natural. Like it's not too much, in my opinion. But again, you can just go for mascara instead alone, or you can go for smaller lashes. Like, If you're not comfortable with wearing falsies, I wouldn't recommend wearing a huge pair, because then half the evening you're just going to be there like, ow, my eyeballs, which is not very nice. So pick something that you know you're going to be comfortable with. And what I'm doing now, by the way, is just making sure that the glue is dry enough. So they will actually stick to my eyes instantly when I put them on. I'm not a very patient person. If you manage to get, like I always do, get glue on your eyeliner, wait for it to dry and then go over it with the gel liner again, because otherwise there might be like a weird shininess in places. Okay, thus far the eyes are done, so I'm just gonna leave them alone for now and move on to the face. What I always like to do, because I have oily skin, is just go over it with powder first. If you have dry skin, I obviously don't recommend you doing that. But yeah, like I said, just use a foundation that suits with your skin. Just one that you know is going to last on your skin all day. With this one, I know that even through air conditioning and stuff like that, this one is just going to stay looking nice and not separate or stuff like that. Now I'm just applying a little bit of concealer as well. And looking at this, I do realize that it's probably not the most like subtle and quick and easy Christmas look. Or holiday look, whatever holiday you celebrate. But I gotta admit, realistically, this is in fact a look that I would personally totally do on a holiday. So yeah, I'd say it's going quite well. Just moving on to powder now, but like what I want to say with that is just, you know, like I know there's like some YouTubers do very out there and like full on glam Christmas and holiday makeup. And that's cool, and I know there's also a lot of people who do very natural makeup because it's more realistic to what you would actually do. Basically this video I am still going to do a full glam look, mind you, like I am. But still, like this to me is a realistic look. I know for some people it might be quite a lot, but me personally, I just love wearing makeup. And I also feel like with holidays you can just go all out and it won't be too much. So yeah. Basically, this to me is actually still a quite wearable holiday look. Anyway, before I continue on my eyes, I'm just going to contour with this taupe shade over here. Because, you know, the last time I used it, I realized that it's actually a completely gorgeous contour shade. Like, it's a very nice cool tone. Cool, neutral. Well, it just looks like a shadow and that's good. So yeah, I'm just going to do contour with it. I'm not going to do too much contour because what looks good on camera might not always look good in real life. And I don't want to have like a brown stripe on my face in real life. So yeah, keep that in mind. And around my nose I'm obviously using a smaller brush just to be safe. I'm actually doing the same thing I did with the last look I did. I'm going to use this shade over here as a blush. Obviously I am being very careful with it because it's a eyeshadow and not a blush, so I don't want to go overboard with it. Yeah, I'm just carefully patting it on, blending it out, and it just creates this very nice, natural, yeah, sort of warm-ish tone. I'm going to use Sugar, which is also the brow bone and inner corner highlight on my cheekbones and other highlight areas. Just very nice, glowy, shimmery, glittery shade. And I also want a little bit more of that, a little bit more, right? A lot more in the inner corners. Now, back up close and personal for the eyes. First off, I'm just going to fill in my waterline with the gel liner. You can use a pencil, of course, you're more comfortable with that on the waterline, but whenever I'm already using a gel liner anyway, I usually just stick with the gel liner. Because I'm kinda lazy. But anyway, I'm also dragging this into the inner corner, and whatever product you use, really try to go for something that'll last on you all day. This is the Lasting Gel Liner by KIKO, which lasts on me all day. According to the name, it should, really. But yeah, their Intense Color pencil also lasts all day on me. But yeah, whatever you use, try to go for something that you don't need to reapply like 500 million times. Because in my experience, that's just annoying. Now, we're working on quite a risky step. I'm using black eyeshadow, I mean. Duh. And I'm really tapping off the brush really well. Because I don't want any black fallout on my face. Because, you know, like that's kind of like the hardest shades to remove. And I'm just tapping this between my eyelashes to really make sure that the black looks smooth and blended. Then back to the palette and a short stump brush, and I'm just using that to blend the outer corner together with the underside. And then on the fluffier brush, I'm using the original transition shade that I used all the way in the beginning to blend it out to my skin. To make it all nice and smoky. And then of course lastly some mascara to finish off the eyes. And we're almost done, and guess once which item I almost forgot. Yes, the brow plumper as usual. So I'm just gonna quickly apply that now. Okay, then lastly the lips. Almost lastly actually, there's one more step after that. But anyway, I'm going to go for red. You could go for nude. I do recommend whatever you do, and that's quite an easy thing with a nude. To just go for something that doesn't look ugly when it's faced. Because on most holiday occasions people eat and, you know, lipstick is going to wear it off, usually. So a nude is easy because it won't wear off in an ugly way, usually. This particular red won't either. It's Yves Saint Laurent. Yes, it's expensive. I bought it with a lot of gift cards a few years ago. But I do know of this one that is going to fade gradually. And not create weird gaps or anything, or smear all the way to my cheekbones. So yeah, whatever you do, pick something that's just going to last nicely even through eating. Or at least won't fade in an ugly way. Then finally setting spray, and we're done at last. And we're left with the final result. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button. And if you want to, you can also subscribe to my channel to see more videos in the future. Other than that, I really hope this look was useful for you for the whole holiday season or whatever other occasions. For now, at any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and maybe see you next time. Bye!